I wanted to go through and showcase all 13 characters or lancers in Fragpunk, taking a look at their abilities, showcasing the new character like Chum, and also showcasing any changes and balances from previous beta tests. For example, I know Axon did receive a nerf and a bit of a facelift, I suppose, color change to his model. So yeah, we're going to go through all of these characters, showcase what their abilities are, and you can get an idea of what kind of playstyle you can expect from every single lancer in the game. I'm just going to go through one more time to showcase the models, and then we're going to go straight into it. Starting with Broker, and we'll make all the way down to the end, including Chum, the new character, and including changes such as Axon, who has had a couple of changes both visual and gameplay wise. So starting with Broker. His first skill is this rocket. Now, it's mainly for damage dealing. It doesn't have a zoom in, but you can kind of get an angle like around corners like this. Like you see there's a player there. I can aim it like here. It's going to damage them. It has a large blast radius, and it does quite a lot of damage. As you can see there, a direct hit is going to insta-kill. However, if you hit like here, it's going to do a little bit less damage. Hang on, let's wait for that bot to reset. So it's kind of got damage based on how close it is to the center of the blast. And yeah, it knocks people back as well as doing damage. And then we have like a smoke coin. This is one of the throwable smokes in the game. And this one, it will create a smoke from where you're throwing it all the way to wherever it finally lands. And you can make quite an interesting smoke wall. And because of the way it bounces, we'll follow that path. So there's going to be a lot of creativity that comes into figuring out the best smoke paths on different maps. If you throw it like in a corner like that, it's going to create a smoke in a very small area. If you throw it long range, up like that, you're going to have a big smoke wall through the air. If you throw it whilst crouched on the ground, you know, you're going to have one that follows this path. So a lot of freedom of creativity when it comes to this particular smoke. And then you have cherry bombs. Now, this will throw a radius of bombs that will stay on the ground. Now, this is sort of like a trap ability. You want to kind of catch people out as they rotate, and they'll stay on the ground and basically deal damage as a player walks through them, as you can see here. It does quite a decent amount of damage. Let's do this on a fully healed up target. A few of them will activate here. This is a nice way to clip players that may be rotating. Next we have Nitro. Nitro starts with her skill 1, which is a remote-controlled sort of robot. This is a really good ability to scout sites and just see, you know, who's around. But it can fire. It doesn't do much damage. I think it does like, what, 20 damage? Fires very slowly. It's, you know, it can distract and deal damage, but mostly it's for scouting. What's quite nice is if you go like this, I can then go back into it later. So you can set that up. You can remotely view a site on defense, or you can scout it on attack. So quite useful in getting info for your team, right? And then we have this, which is a small cover. Now, this is great for, you know, peeking in and out. Although I will say that it's kind of like you can just about see someone's head peeking over that, you know? So it's something to consider. You can stack them up as well. If you want to build like a wall like this, then you can do a double stack or stack it on things that would otherwise be crouching height to create full cover as well. Of course, it can be broken like most of these abilities. This one can be broken into like different sections like this. And then we have this, which is a trap item that will basically create a radius around it and auto-target anyone and deal damage over time to anyone that it tracks. It can obviously be destroyed well. Next we have Hollowpoint, whose first attack is a sniper that charges up as you ADS, and it will one-shot body shot, which is really quite powerful. And then you have a smoke screen that will block vision, and it will fire out basically until you stop it in whatever direction you've created, right? So it's a quite nice ability to sort of block vision, as you can see here. Then it can also kind of be combined with this trap, which is a vision trap. So you throw it down and you'll see players in the area. And this will go through walls as well. So, for example, if we have a trap down here, right, and we throw a smoke screen, We're going to get that trap information. You can't throw it in the air, though, right? It has to be on the ground. So you can't lob it around corners like a smoke grenade or something. You could go like that. If anyone's in that area, then you're going to get a scan on them. You kind of have to expose yourself a little bit to get the most value out of it. But yeah, her main power comes definitely in this powerful sniper. Next we have Jaguar. Jaguar has a few sort of damage dealing and vision blocking abilities. This one here, the cage, will put them inside a big block. They can't see anything whilst they're in there. They've got to step out of it. And it combines well with his third ability, which basically will give him a movement speed boost and reveal enemies in the area. And it does include those in the cage. So you can go like this, throw someone in the cage, activate your ability like this, and you're going to get an angle on them. And when this is activated, you will move faster as well. It just kind of tells you how many enemies are in the area, although very, very close, you know. And then we got this sort of AoE trap here for a skill 1. It does electric damage. I don't think it's the best, honestly. As you can see, if someone walks into that, they're going to have a pretty hard time. Next we have Chomper, the new character. So Chomper has a little fish that you can throw out, and it will go and find players and bite them, basically. But it has two other functions. First, let me show you the main function. I throw it down here. I'll find someone and bite their ankles. It does a very small amount of damage. But, you know, good to throw into like a site. You can go like this and be like, right, I'm going to go and find somebody. Right? But it has two other functions. The first being a smoke. You can give it a smoke bait, and then when you fire it out, you can actually like create a smoke wall. And if you hold it, it will kind of like go in the direction that you aim. So I could get a smoke wall going that way. Right? And it will create this big smoke wall. It's quite interesting. Or you can feed it explosive bait, and then it's going to do more damage once it finds a target. I'm walking along here, you can see. Not a massive amount of damage, but it's okay. And then on top of that, he has his explosive ability in a little trap, which basically does the same amount of damage as if you put it on Chomper. You can see here. But it has to basically create line of sight like that. And then you have the smoke one. Now this has two different ways of use. First, you can do explode on contact, so as soon as it touches anything, it'll create a smoke. Or you can do it explode on land, so you can bounce it, and as soon as it touches the floor, it'll create a smoke. And this is a big smoke, like, ball to block sight lines, and you really can't see anything in there. But not so much a smoke wall like other smoke abilities. Next, we have Corona. This character has a few very interesting abilities. The first of which being a dash. Just dashes you forward. You can also dash upwards, but you won't get as much distance when dashing vertically. And then you can throw this little war zone area. When you stand in this, you will move faster. Anyone in it will take damage over time. And I do believe he'll take less damage whilst inside this as well. So basically, this is like a really good defense ability. I mean, you throw it on point. And yeah, really, really good. In fact, even on attack. I feel like his kit has still been very strong for a long time. And then you have this third ability, which will charge up. And anyone in its line of sight will get blinded, basically, once it's 100%. It means they're blinded. And you can combine that together with a dash. Like, let's say you know there's somebody over here. You could charge it and wait for it to go and then dash towards them and then stun them. Or not stun them, blind them. Quite interesting. Next we have Serket. This character has a few interesting abilities. The first of which is kind of like a repositioning ability. You can teleport. And what's nice is the sandstorms actually signify enemies. So you know where they are. There's another teleport ability that doesn't have that same function, which we'll talk about later on another character. Yeah, it's a nice repositioning tool where you can avoid sort of, you know, teleporting and then taking damage. And then we have this. This will be a big tornado. Anyone caught in it will be slowed down. And you can also stop it. And if you stop it, it will sort of grow in size a little bit. If you're in there, I mean, this is what you see. You're going to be in here. You're going to be blind to what's out inside of, behind, on the other side. and slowed. And then we have this sort of whirlpool effect that brings people into the center. And you can throw this fairly long distance. So let's say like there's a player over there. And we can throw it and it will bring them towards it, right? Which is quite nice. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities to use that around corners. Next we have Pathojen. This character has a passive, which is immune to poison damage. So basically, she can't take damage from other Pathojen players, which is quite interesting. She's got a healing ability. Throw it on the ground, and anyone in this radius will be healed over time, including herself. And then we have a sort of deployable wall. Which again, this can be broken. But it's a singular deployable wall that is taller than the other one. And then there's a damage poison over time sort of radius grenade that will do, you know, damage over time as expected. You can throw it on the ground and it will activate when anyone walks in the area, or you can activate it remotely whenever you want to. Then we have Zephyr, a character with a few different repositioning and invisibility abilities. The first of which being skill 1, which makes you cloaked. In cloak, you cannot use your primary or any normal firearm, but you can melee. So you can actually kind of cloak behind people, potentially get melees off. And it combines really well with the rest of Zephyr's abilities. The second of which being a sort of area here. Once in this area, she's actually fully cloaked. So if she's in this radius, she's fully cloaked, cannot be seen. If she's out, she can actually be seen a little bit. And on top of that, when you're in this area, you actually have no time limit to how long you're invisible. So it's kind of like a way to boost her power with her invisibility. And then we have a teleport, which is really nice. If you put this down, basically you can move around, and whenever you activate it again, you'll teleport back to this position. And you can put it down whilst visible, right? Then go invisible, and if you go back, you'll still be invisible. I should say cloaked. I do believe it's not completely invisible unless you have yourself in this radius with a second skill. And then we have Spider, who has a few different abilities for displacement and transport. So first being a teleport. You can put like 2 teleport abilities down. You got to manually do it, so you know, does require a bit of movement around the map first. Yeah, once you're doing that, you basically just walk into that and you'll teleport and be able to go back and forth between the two. Nice way to create transport between 2 sites. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cool potential with this ability. And then this ability actually teleports an enemy. So wherever you're standing is where the enemy will teleport it to. And you can get some pretty big range on it, honestly. Like, let's say I'm all the way down here. You can throw it over walls and stuff. Like, if you know a good lineup, you could potentially, like, teleport someone who may be sitting in a particular spot, you know? So, if you go like that, and it lands down, like, it's gonna teleport the bed, which is crazy. Quite a cool, unique ability. Spider's third ability is a trap. It'll create an area of effect. If they're caught in the area, the player will be blinded and slowed. Next we have Kismet, a detection ability on skill 1. Anyone caught in the radius will be seen also through walls. So for example, you're like on a corner somewhere, you can pop this. There's someone standing on the other side, you're going to know about it. And then we have a small damage dealing nade that can be thrown in any way, basically. Like, it can be thrown over walls. Can't really be bounced too much. So that's one limit to it, but it does do, I think, about 100 damage.
Let's find out.
It's a bit of a skill shot to it. If you throw it too far, it's going to bounce too hard. So it's quite interesting. But let me just show you the actual damage. I think it does 100. Yeah, it does 100 damage. So that's like 2/3 of your health. And then we have the teleport ability. Now this one, you are immune to damage, which is nice, but you cannot see players. You got to be careful, right? You can't see where players are. You might accidentally teleport like right inside of someone like this. Yeah, quite interesting. Next, we have Axon. Now, he's changed. It's a bit of a nerf for Axon, unfortunately. You may remember in the past, he was able to slide. That was kind of like his passive. He had really good movement. That is now, unfortunately, only when he has his guitar out. As part of his skill 1, he doesn't get sliding normally, unfortunately, which does really... I don't know. I mean, it's probably well balanced, not going to lie. But yeah, that does mean you can only slide whilst in the guitar. Now, the guitar is like a shotgun. The 2-burst shotgun. It's limited ammo, but if you get a kill with it, I do believe it gets extra ammo again. And it's a pretty powerful thing. If you 2-tap someone with this and hit both on target, it's going to eliminate someone. And the more you use it, the more ammo you get to keep using it. Well, the more kills you get with it anyway. And you can also, like, basically press the aim button whilst using the guitar to throw your second skill, which is a sticky bomb. Will do damage as well. Now, you can also use that on its own. You press the sticky bomb button itself, which is your skill 2. Or throw it out. It will keep bouncing around until it hits a target, and then it will stick on them. Or it reaches its maximum life. At that point, it will just explode. So, it's quite good at throwing around corners. You know? And then we have the third skill. It puts on a mask, and during this time limit of it being active, he is immune to all flashes. And it has a fairly decent length, so if you know the team is about to push a site, you can put this on and you will be immune to all flashes. Next we have Sonar, a character that's basically focused on information. If we get a moving character here, and we throw this echolocation down, and you can't really throw it, you got to place it like this. And anyone walking in the area will be revealed. As you see, like that. I think it's like, honestly, it's nice to put on a site. And then we have the secondary, which is called Sonic Surge. And this will send out like a laser beam. Or, I don't know, a tunnel, I suppose. Anyone's caught in that tunnel will be scanned. And they'll also be like stunned and knocked up. Which is quite interesting. Kind of works like that, as you can see. Very funny ability. And then her third ability means your footsteps are not as loud. And you're also immune to other Sonar's primary ability. I don't know. It feels like it's a little bit underpowered in my opinion. Like, look how short this is. I don't know. That's all of the launches in Fragpunk. I don't know how well this game is going to do on launch. We'll see. I'm going to give it a little go. So expect some Fragpunk content on this channel for a bit. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.